Luke and my son and Greg, and then this guy Jar Robertson, and just had a blast. It was so fun.
I heard it was awesome.
Got dirty and filthy.
Yeah.
And
On Saturday?
Uh-huh.
Oh, fun.
yeah, we were down to maybe about 2. It was hot.
It was hot.
It was
man.
hot.
It was hot.
You got the bike kind of puts off heat on your legs, so you're just like, it is hot, but real fun.
That's a fun crew.
We only have a couple more days to do that, and then
Fire season
will shut it all down.
Oh,
so
yeah.
maybe we'll get this weekend, and that's it. So super fun. We talk about the news typically, and for us in Oregon, we try to bring it here and think about what are people talking about. And people are talking about Portland. Why would they talk about Portland?
The world's talking about Portland.
Yes.
Yeah, if we were having a conversation in the foyer and I was just thinking about, or the lobby, I'm sad by it.
It's sad. It
Yeah.
totally is sad. Yeah.
I'm glad we live in Grants Pass.
Man, love Grants Pass right now.
Like, if we didn't watch the news or turn the news on, would we even know this was happening? Would
Nope.
it affect us?
I feel
Nope.
like 95% of the world is just doing their thing. For better or for worse, I don't know. But
Yeah.
just going on with life.
Yeah. What? Almost $30 million in damage they estimate right now to
That's so
downtown.
sad.
Boarded up, can't go there. Looks like a war zone. Man. Minnesota, same thing happened there. But what is Minnesota doing now?
Asking for money.
Asking for us to fix their city.
The government.
You and me to pay our taxes to fix the city that they decided that they weren't going to step in and stop.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my responsibility?
Yeah.
I mean, what is that worth? So my neighbor decides, you know what? I'm just going to let my house get trashed. Hey, my house is trashed. I want you to fix it. Bro, you chose to throw parties and kegers and, well, it's your house, man. Fix your house, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
It's really important to have conversations with our young people, our children. There's this thing like the government's its own entity financially. Well, the government will pay for it. Well, who is the government?
You and me.
You and I, the taxpayers. So it's a good reminder that
Yeah.
this money comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
And it will affect us.
Yeah. I tell people the government has no money.
Nope.
They have no money.
No.
They
They're
get
taking
their
it.
money from corporations and people.
Yep.
That's how they get their money. So, okay, Minnesota wants you and me to fix their town.
Well, I think each of us are connected to someone in Portland recently, just how this is affecting them. Matt, you were saying you talked to a friend that has a church, a pastor up there.
A good friend. We go back a long time and had a long conversation with him on Thursday. And he loves Portland. He's a Portlander. And Thursday morning, for the first time, his daughter, who's really grown up there, it's been the place that they've been the longest, said, Dad, can we move? And she loves the community, loves everything there. He couldn't believe it. He was like, whoa, I can't believe that she would even have that feeling of wanting to get out. It's the way that it's trickling down now. We can't go downtown. They're in Multnomah County, so everything's still locked down. When they drive through downtown, you almost got to be really careful.
Yeah.
Because bad things have happened to people just driving by. So, yeah, super scary.
There was a young man at church on Sunday that was moved here from Portland last week. And because where he was staying in a really affluent neighborhood in Beaverton, some people had driven through and shot at houses and near a mini storage that was near his residence that he was staying at. They shot the mini storage up and he said, I'm out. And he has the ability to work remote. And he said, I'm going to Southern Oregon. I'm out of here. And he was at church on Sunday. And pretty harrowing conversation. You know, he's just like, man, I would never expect that. You know, we're not in Chicago. You just don't think that stuff is happening here.
Yeah, I got a friend I've known for 25 years, went to college with him, minority, he's from another country. He's built a very successful downtown restaurant business in downtown Portland. And even before the riot started, he's been posting things about how there's just this lack of protection for the business owners downtown. Every night, he installed his own camera system to start to keep track of things and then track people down himself. Now his business is almost a total loss. Everything that he's built to this point, because he can't use it, he can't go down there, things are getting destroyed. And there's been, I know there's this backlash that, well, the federal government has stepped in, but there's business owners that are wanting somebody to step in.
Yeah.
a lot of them are saying I'm for activism and I'm for racial
People
equality.
voicing their opinions
Yeah,
in a
but-
peaceful way.
I'm losing my livelihood here because of it.
Well, I think each of us during times of the year like to run up to Portland for certain events. You guys, soccer tournaments up there,
Oh,
kids stuff.
School. I went to school 4 years. I was
Yeah,
up there
there's
three times
there's
a
cultural
year.
things up there. We can't
Yeah.
concerts, things we enjoy in Portland, or just to get away. It's nice. It's different. Now, how many people are going to be traveling to Portland? No way.
Yeah.
We're 3.5 hours away, and we're not going to go. So at some point, it was a destination globally. Portland had its own vibe, its own thing, the food, the city, the river.
Yeah.
People aren't going to go there.
No.
It'd be interesting, the financial and cultural backlash.
So theologically speaking, Matt, as a pastor, what's the Christian's response? Like,
Yeah.
in that community,
Yeah.
how do you see it?
I always tell people Daniel is our example. That he lives in what the Bible refers to as the worst city in the entire Scripture. It's really Jerusalem and Babylon, right? Jerusalem is God's place. Babylon is this place of chaos and disorder and the confounding of languages and trying to build your own gods, and all that goes into Babylon. It's a place that when the people do the unthinkable, offer their kids as a sacrifice, it's a place that they're exiled to. Oh, you want to sacrifice your kids to Moloch? Okay, then you go here. So it's like the worst of the worst, right? It's whatever. Pelican Bay or whatever, the worst of the worst. They go to Babylon.
Yeah.
And so Daniel's in Babylon, and he stays there. And he applies himself, and he learns Chaldean, and he learns the arts that are there and all that, but he never loses his witness. And he converts the king. That's what ends up happening. Nebuchadnezzar, through the work of Daniel and his three buddies, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they convert the king. So
Yep.
I don't think we're supposed to run away. And then you come to the New Testament, and Jesus takes his disciples, like it's very purposeful. Like you can see it in Matthew 16. He makes his way from Jerusalem north through Galilee. He has these interactions with the Pharisees, and he just keeps going. I'm going north. I'm going north. He has a destination. And it's called Caesarea Philippi. And he goes to this place where there's this big rock stone, and underneath it, during that time, there was a temple to Pan. And the god Pan, if you've ever seen him, he made the cover of an Ozzy Osbourne album. So if you make the cover of Ozzy Osbourne's albums, you're probably a deviant at some point.
Yeah.
So he's half goat, half man, and it was a very sexual kind of thing, and it was pansexual, which means pan just means anything. So it's anything goes. So it was a really bad spot. The rabbis would not let any Jews go there. It was forbidden. It was like the red light district of Amsterdam. Do not go there. Jesus purposefully goes there, and it's there that he talks about the church. And he says, I'm going to build my church on this rock. The rock is right over Pan's temple, which is right over this hole, and they call that hole the gates of hell. So he goes, I'm going to build my church on that rock, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it.
Is that the same rock he told Peter to build?
So it's in that time that he says, who do men say that I am?
Right.
Jesus begins the conversation
this
by
rock.
saying, who do men say that I am?
Right.
And so they say, some say you're Jeremiah, some say that you're that prophet, right? They go through, some say you're Moses, right? And then Jesus says, well, who do you say I am?
Right.
And Peter says, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus says, upon that rock. Really the confession, but it's a metaphor, right?
Totally.
Because you're looking at this big rock face.
Yeah.
On that rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell, right underneath it, will not prevail it.
Yeah.
And if you look at church history, where church has thrived is when they've run to the gates of hell.
Yeah, each family has to make their own choices. Each family is praying and being led by God's Spirit. But don't we easily fight or flight? No, it's real easy to run.
Oh yeah, to be afraid.
And we even in our community, even in your neighborhood, maybe today, there's a tough neighbor, or there's a tough situation, or you have a hard day, a hard situation at work. But just even in Grants Pass, we have our own issues here, and if we all ran from it, we wouldn't change it. And I think there's a lot of kids, there's generations that need us to stick around,
Yeah.
make a difference.
Yeah.
I feel for those people in Portland. I'm not dealing with tear gas and federal agents and
Yeah.
national media attention.
It's get in community and prayerfully consider what can we do to reduce evil. right?
Yeah.
That is it. Not vigilante, not get my gun and go out there and try to kill. It's what can I do that reduces evil? The evil that's being done by the protesters, both to themselves, because when you sin, you do evil to yourself.
Yes.
Totally.
And the evil that they're doing to others.
Yeah.
So how do we reduce that? That's the call of the Christian. How do I reduce evil in this situation? Yeah.
So I think as believers, we pray for our brothers and sisters in Portland to be that.
Yeah. Fully.
That they would be reducing evil
Yeah.
and being a light.
So people will ask me, like, well, what are we doing here? And actually the guy on the phone that I talked to did. And I said, we haven't changed anything really.
Yeah.
I said, what we did before I felt was right, and this hasn't changed any of that.
Yeah.
So unless there's something dramatic, I am a very maintain present course and speed. Like, this is what we're supposed to be doing. Like, continue to teach God's word, continue to reach out to our community, continue to see what's the hell in Grants Pass, right? We have a different hell here versus Portland. We have poverty, and we have homelessness, and we have unaffordable housing, and now we're going to have probably a tougher job market. Possibly, doesn't seem like it right now, but okay, we look at that. What's the hell in Grants Pass? And those are the things that we continue to center in on and say, we're supposed to be the answer. We're supposed to camp on those things here.
I've talked to multiple people recently at Edgewater on a Sunday between services where it was usually a lady, either a mom or a wife, and their husband or significant other was totally engrossed in the media, in the news, and in this instance,
Doom scrolling.
totally Fox News, like losing their life to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, where's your husband today? He's lost his mind with this stuff.
Yeah.
He's just engrossed with.
Yeah.
But that's not dealing with the hell in Grants Pass. And so, man, I think we need to be informed. But I mean, that's a great challenge, opportunity. Just evaluating today, Lord, what would you have me do to reduce evil in Grants Pass? In my own heart first,
Yeah.
in my own four walls, my house, and then in the greater community. And if we spend as much time focusing on that as we did what's going on in places we need to prayerfully be joining with, but we're not going to be boots on the ground in Portland. We're boots on the ground in Grants Pass.
Yeah.
Fox News or CNN or MSNBC, it's all these big things, but we as Christians got to focus on these little things.
Yeah.
We have to be faithful with these little things, like you're saying. You know, what's right now in front of me that I can do to push back
10,000
evil?
believers in Grants Pass,
Yeah,
all reduced evil.
yeah,
What happens in Grants Pass?
totally.
A long time ago, my buddy Mike Junker challenged me, called me, goes, what if, just using the tithe analogy, which, take it or leave it with offering tithe, but he said, just say you're giving a certain percentage of your offering to the Lord. And then if you took that same percentage and equated it to your time, so let's just say 10%, 2.4 hours a day towards reducing evil on purpose.
That'd be crazy.
Dude, what kind of change could
It'd
happen
be insane.
if every believer just said, Lord, 2 hours of my day, just say 2 hours of my day,
Yeah.
and I'm
Or waking hours 1.6.
intentionally, exactly,
Yeah.
intentionally chasing evil out of my town, out of my community, out of my own heart. We're not having this conversation.
It'd be radical.
It'd be all right. So that's a good challenge.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah.
love it.
COVID. You guys want to talk about COVID?
What?
Yeah.
Who's
What is
talking about
this?
COVID? What is this COVID you speak of?
Instead of Edge Live, it's COVID Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Tuesday.
You had some kind of a study, right? Where it
yeah.
began?
Yeah, at the beginning of COVID, they said they were finding that most people, when talking about it, were fearful. It was all like centered around fear.
Yeah.
Now they're finding through social media and stuff, it's anger.
Yeah.
They're finding anger. But they're also, strangely, I don't know the marriage between the two, but they're also finding people expressing joy. So you've got people that are upset about it, but we're trying to find some joy in it. So, but the driving thing is anger right now towards COVID, not fear.
Yeah.
Just done.
Done.
Totally done
Yeah.
with it.
Well, I think, Matt, you said it, you sent the staff. There was a Oregon fact check last weekend or whatever came out and said what counties are failing with the COVID statistics, and Josephine County's failing based on those
we're the
metrics.
By the three metrics that they
Yeah.
used
I
to
mean,
measure.
It's
stats.
like that, and that study will go into the governor's recipe of what she's going to do. And it's like, it was a shot over the bow, like, behave or you're going to be punished. So I'm like, oh man.
You know, and I really, I think most of my friends, or a lot of Josephine County, are, the majority are over it, bummed, frustrated by it. But, you know, I went into a couple of businesses yesterday, and I wore my mask. And honestly, if that's all it takes, and we can continue to gather corporately, it's so worth it. So I hope that those that are pushing back, just to push back, because I just feel like being ornery, they can't tell me what to do. Who cares? Wear the mask. And let's keep gathering corporately. Because look, if they knock us down to like 50 people per gathering, what are we gonna do? And we're in a rare situation. We probably have the largest gathering space in Oregon right now.
Probably.
We probably do. The ability for 400 plus people to gather legally in our facility. Otherwise, a building with all the walls would need to be like 30,000 square foot, building or something. So,
What's 250?
Oh, it doesn't matter. You're right.
It's
You're right. I
250.
forgot. That's right.
No, the ability for us to have inside outside.
Hence the lawsuit.
Yeah, doubled our number. Yeah.
Right. So, man, we were blessed at Edgewater. God's providence is He knew before we did that we needed this building and this application and this location here. So, let's not be ornery about it.
Yeah.
I'm the first that can be ornery about it.
Me too.
And I see my friends. I see my friends in the store and they don't have one on, and I get it. And I have one on, and they're probably going, "Oh, you've sold out." And I'm like, "No, I get it. It's not a fight for me anymore."
I don't care.
I
keep forgetting. I'll go places. I'm like, "Oh no, where is it?" But I'm not fighting it. Like we all have too much to do.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I need this thing at Home Depot. I'm not going to stop going to get my supplies because of a mask. You know.
So I was talking to a guy who is anti-mask, and he's like, "So I finally was like, okay, I'll do this thing." And he put a mask on. He said he went into a store, and he's got the mask on, and he's been anti-mask up until like last week. So anti-mask, and puts on the mask. He goes, "The craziest thing happened to me. I go into the store, I've got the mask on. I see this guy without a mask on, and I was like, you moron." He's like, "I couldn't even believe it." He's like, 5 minutes ago, I was that guy, but it's like once I put the mask on, I became like judgmental of everybody else without a mask on. Oh, that is so funny. I'm doing it, so come on, you're a moron for not doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're wishy-washy, aren't we?
And everybody, the problem with it is, you talk to one person who loves Dr. Atlas, and they're like, yeah, down with all this. And then you talk to another person who loves Dr. Fauci, and they're like, yeah, we gotta do all this stuff. I mean, it's really, there's just like, it's like science now has been politicized, and it's this new weapon.
Yeah.
And you can find your science.
You're talking about two doctors.
Doctor at Stanford.
Yeah.
Medical, massive Dr. Atlas.
Yeah.
And Fauci, who's the head of it for America.
Yeah.
Like, oh, these are not like quacks.
No,
These are top of the line, brilliant men. And they're absolutely different on what we should do and what this thing is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things. Tina, she chimed in here on Facebook saying not knowing who or what to believe is the most frustrating part.
It's so frustrating.
We agree.
100%.
I had a good friend of mine here at Edgewater. The other day we were working together on a home bridging deal, and I don't know, Kate Brown came up or something, and I'm pretty apolitical when it comes, especially in the public. And I was like, yeah, and he goes, man, I think she's doing a great job.
Good.
And I was like,
I'm so glad you did.
okay. I was like, whoa.
In Grants Pass.
Oh,
somebody
yeah,
said that.
Edgewater.
It's one person.
Yeah, and so I'm like, okay, cool. Why do you think that? And he shared his opinion. It was thoughtful, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I think we can really easily think, well, we're Edgewater, Grants Pass, but the kingdom is big.
It is.
It's not red or it's not blue, the kingdom, and there's, believe it or not, people, there's Democrats going to heaven. And there's, right? There's people that believe in
And
evolution.
Republicans going to hell.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just glad that he felt comfortable enough to say that to me. But then my response, I had to think about it, like, okay, right on.
That's why, for me, because there's like this, just choose your science.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll wear a mask. Okay. Because to me, it's like the least offensive thing to do. All right. It's nothing in the big scheme of things. Mm-hmm. Whether I agree with it or not, I can find science on both sides. It's debatable. Okay. If it makes you okay, if it makes us compliant, if it makes me be able to go out to eat with my family.
Yeah.
And go to church with my family. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight over that one. So.
Yeah, one of the comments in there, I think we could talk about this real quick on this subject. This lady, Linda, says, I don't see it as being ornery or defiant, because I use those terms. I see it as standing firm, standing your ground. Don't let freedom erode. And I would just say, for me personally, I just create more tension if I don't wear it versus if I wear it.
Yeah.
And for me, the win is a lot bigger than the fight. And so I'm standing firm on what I believe. It hasn't changed that. We haven't lost any freedoms. A mask to me is not
choose
a freedom.
your battle. To me, it's choose your battle.
Will this distract from the gospel?
Yeah.
Right.
If it's about Jesus, about the gospel, about my personal right to pursue happiness, right? As a citizen of America. Well, okay, it doesn't do any of those things, right? And I'm not going to, like, this guy out in front of Walmart, I didn't have a mask on. He's like, hey, you need to wear a mask. I said, oh, okay, no problem. He just looked at me and goes, thank you.
For not fighting back.
Yeah, for not being like, you mask. You know, it's not his fault. It's his job to tell people to wear masks, and people just attack him. Like,
I can't believe that. I've heard that several
poor
times.
dude.
I'm like,
He just like,
You know what I wish I could tell
it's
people?
not his decision.
You know what I
He's
wish
just
I could
doing
tell
his
people?
job, poor guy.
I'd rather change it. I'd like to be able to tell people, dude, put a shirt on. I'd rather see a mask. Dude, put some pants on that fit.
Fully.
Honey,
Put
you
a
need-
belse on.
Honey, you need some shorts that work better for you. You know, I'd rather be able to say that than the mask. So
man.
the mask is not inhibiting my freedom. But what does happen is it separates me when I don't wear it from people that I'd like to have a conversation with.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah,
And
you-
because everybody that knows me knows where I stand. So because they know where I stand, when I put a mask on, they always go, okay, hey, that's cool, Chad's doing that, because they know who I am and
Yeah.
So I appreciate what you're saying, Linda. So I'm not arguing with you, but that's just where
For
I come
me,
from.
it's not a freedom issue. For me, it's okay, no problem.
Yeah, and here's a lady on here, Bryn. Her husband is a manager at a grocery store locally. I actually know this family a little bit. And she said workers are being cussed out multiple times
Oh,
a day.
it's horrible.
Dude,
It's
cussed
horrible.
out? Over, come on.
They're just doing what they're supposed to do. They're doing their job. It's not them. If you want to get mad at somebody, then petition the government, go to a lawyer, start a lawsuit. That's the channel.
Well, and believers, don't grasp this mask thing and make it the mark of the beast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, seriously, that's
Yeah,
kind of
right.
what's happening.
I know.
For in some of my conversations with my friends, like, yo, you know what's next? I'm like, dude, it's a mask.
Come on. Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
Order your food then online and pick it up outside. Don't go inside.
Yeah.
But don't
Yeah.
cuss people out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
So the other thing we keep getting asked about regarding COVID is school.
Yeah.
What do you guys think is going to happen?
Well, our wives are school counselors in the local schools, one at Three Rivers at Fleming, and Selena, Carrie's wife, is at North Middle School. And, you know, same thing. Don't yell at the messenger.
Yeah.
Don't yell at the schools. Don't yell at the teachers, the principals. They don't have a say. This is going to come from the state, and the local districts are going to do everything they can to comply. I have an adult. We each have children in fall sports or in winter sports that are
We're
active.
going to be in fall sports.
We're gonna, yeah. I just think we all agree. If the NFL is postponing, if the NBA, there's not going to be high school sports.
Yeah.
And now the districts are working through how they're going to educate children.
Yeah.
What district said they're doing football in April?
I haven't heard that one yet for sure, but I heard that CIF in Southern California is starting in December, and they'll finish maybe around April. So all their fall sports are starting.
There was talk
basically
in
4
some
months
states
later.
to flip it to the spring on some of them, but
Yeah.
Oregon's
Whatever.
yeah.
Whatever. I don't have any problem with that. I know. I think one thing that needs to get addressed is everybody agrees kids should be in school.
Yeah.
I feel like there's this battle between parents and teachers and Republicans and Democrats and everything. Everybody agrees that kids should be in school, but it's how dangerous is the virus. And one point that was brought up to me by an educator, no doubt they said we want our kids to be in classes, but if we're going to have these restrictions with testing and 14-day quarantining and all of these kind of things, it's extremely problematic.
So disruptive.
If a kid gets test positive, now what do you do to the kids in that classroom? If a teacher tests positive, are you paying a sub now for the next 2 weeks while they're battling that? Like, there's a lot of things. It's not really as simple as it sounds, you know.
No,
So-
I was listening to a national podcast the other day, and that's what this guy said. He was a lawyer. He said the next thing that's coming is law. They don't know how to deal with this with workers' comp laws, liabilities. Corporations are at risk. Essential workers.
Yeah.
And when you call someone in a grocery store an essential worker, Do they fall under the same laws as a doctor? Probably not.
Yeah.
They're exposed to disease
Yeah.
now, supposedly. So,
Part of the stimulus package is protection for business.
right.
So if stimulus package number 2 goes through, worked into it is that.
Laws like that.
Yeah, protect businesses that are staying open, like grocery stores,
Right.
like
But our courts are
schools,
going to
like,
get hammered with
Oh, yeah.
with lawsuits.
Well, that part of the stimulus bill, I guarantee, will immediately have a lawsuit against it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Tina asked a question. We actually had this conversation before we went on here. She asked, and I thought it was a good. She goes, "What are your views on a cashless society?" Tina asked, and we briefly chatted on this earlier, just our opinions. And I'm mixed on it. I get it. Like, it's interesting. Big change for sure. I think it hurts because they're going to be able to track everything. You know, so you flip a kid $100 for some Girl Scout cookies. Well, you're not going to do that anymore without it being tracked. And
She's
is that
gonna
kid's
pay
got to pay
taxes
income
on
on
it.
it? Yeah. So I don't think we really realize how much cash is that we utilize it in
Yeah.
our culture.
Yeah.
You know, the little kid down the street that you hire to do a side job for you, and you just flip them some money, or a guy or gal that maybe trying to climb their way out of a situation and make some good decisions, and you flip them a little money on the side, and that doesn't get claimed. And so that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
And you have the tie-in to Revelation 13.
Right.
Right? The mark of the
Cashless.
beast. Without the mark of the beast, you are unable to buy or to sell.
Sure.
So you have all that in there. And wherever you stand on end times, the Bible, I think, makes it clear things get bad before they get better.
Well, Carrie's
So-
going to be teaching that on a couple Wednesdays from now, so it'll be fine. No, I'm totally kidding. I'm kidding. Edgewater, I'm kidding.
Oh, they'll come.
Yeah.
Just say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
End times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it hurts homeless people right now and some of those things, just a lack of cash in there. But just like you said, is this
Yeah.
preparing us for a different world?
Yeah. For a world where things can be. You have China right now is the test tube of it, right? They had that social score. You remember that?
I don't remember that.
Okay, so China had for every citizen you were given a social score, and it was based upon how well you were obeying the
That is
communist
spooky.
country. Yeah,
Man.
and if your score was too low, you did not get a passport. You would not get certain jobs. You wouldn't get certain benefits. Right? That's how well they were tracking people. So you start seeing, whoa, that's Revelation 13. We will, by this social score, make you either
Step in
flourish and love life, or you're going to be an outcast. So,
Step in
and then
line.
what they're doing right now to we were talking about this, the
Yeah.
Uyghurs.
Yeah, I don't know how to say
line.
it.
Maisha's asking that
Yeah,
question.
Maisha
Yeah, what do you
Angela
think
just
about
said
what's
that.
going on
I
in
mean,
China?
how horrible is that? Like China right now they're using coronavirus as an opportunity to cinch down control of their populace and then to get rid of an entire group of people. While the world is so busy with our own little problems that we're just not even paying attention.
Yeah.
I mean, it's horrible. So, yeah.
And because it's China, I don't even know. I shouldn't even comment on this because I'm so ill-informed when it comes to this stuff. But, you know, a lot of other countries would be going, hey, what are you going to... We're not doing that. We're not allowing that. But China's so powerful. I don't know what our response, our lack of response, or what our response should be. But I just know this. When you are...
I think it has to be financial. I think
Oh,
we
yeah.
start saying
Sanctions
to China, well, not even sanctions. We just said, Matt, we're going to do our own manufacturing now.
Yeah.
And I think we were exposed with coronavirus on really essential things when we could not get them because we've outsourced all of that. And we have to think really like, wait a second, maybe China's not our partner in this. Maybe they have a
Well,
different
greed has
end
created our partnership.
fully.
And then when you have a zero Christian Judeo background or foundation,
Well,
yeah, these things will happen.
atheist, communist country.
Yeah, might is right,
Yeah.
and people get smashed. It's
Yeah, it says
super
the
sad.
captivity of almost 2 million Uyghurs
2
now
million?
forced into scattered gulags across the region marks the largest imprisonment based not on crimes but on ethnicity and religion alone since the Holocaust.
That's insane.
That's
and
sad.
no one's doing anything.
No.
Yeah.
Where's the public outcry
Yeah.
right now? Where are the people saying, that, I mean, wrongly we had stuff happen in our country, but 2 million
Yeah.
The numbers are just staggering.
Yeah.
The numbers in China are always staggering because it's 1.3 billion people.
Huge.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
2 million people just were displaced and put into camps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Shave their heads.
Yes.
That was like a big sign. Like, oh, this is bad.
And they'll have their reasons for it,
Yeah.
but are you kidding?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that.
I don't
but
either, but I think we need to be aware.
Come Jesus quickly, and
Yeah.
if somebody has I'll go over there. I'd love to go to China right now. It'd be so fun.
Forced sterilizations, abortions
Oh.
of hundreds of thousands of women, killing off the next generation before they're even born.
Really,
It's disgusting.
Insanity.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
that should grieve our hearts.
It should break our hearts. Yeah.
And in Portland, we've got elk statues being ripped down.
Yeah, that's our problem there.
Come on. Come on, guys.
But in homes, if families aren't talking about these things, we will have another generation disconnected from evil, from the realities of evil,
Yeah.
and the depravity of sin, and the importance of the gospel.
Yeah. I had my kids do papers on the Holocaust. That's
Yeah.
like, Krista did a whole speech on it.
Oh, that's good.
It was.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, hey, so she knew very early about the horrors of humanity.
Yep.
That's why that's why it's important to teach the whole counsel, the Bible.
Yeah.
Because that's in the Bible.
Fully. Bad people,
Yeah.
evil people are all over.
Book after book that's in the Bible. And so it's really important that we continue to teach the word here, that our kids get the full picture of sin and the Redeemer and what happens without that.
Yeah.
That man left to himself is really bad.
Read the book of Judges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no king, and every man did what was right his own side.
We had a question here. I don't know if we have time to answer it. Bren again. What effect? What's that?
We have all the time.
I don't. I have ministry to do, Carrie. No. What effect do you think will happen with the end of the extra unemployment coming? Man, I think Matt and I and Carrie, I said earlier, when does the shoe drop on the economy?
Man, I can't understand it right now.
Yeah, because
people have
if
so
you-
much money. Stuff's selling like crazy. Houses are selling like crazy. Facebook Marketplace is crazy. It's just, what? People have time and money right now. Like,
Yeah.
what in the world? I don't
Interest
know.
rates are the lowest they've ever been for homes. People are refining like crazy. Praise the Lord, saving money. But Southern Oregon is on just going for it.
It is insane.
Yeah, you got businesses on the books and off the books, and they're all doing really well that I've talked to. I know certain restaurants and some of
Yeah.
those things affected, no doubt. But local construction, farming, that's a broad term anymore.
Yeah.
But these things are doing, logging's busy. Like at the beginning of COVID, because I come from the logging industry, still connected to some of those guys. At the beginning of COVID, the local mills said, shut down. We got a week. We're going to pull everything in. Nope. They're so busy. They're actually, I was talking to City Plywood the other day down there, Dan and Terry. They're like, get your orders in, and we are selling out. We can't get rid of my plywood.
Try to call somebody to come do something at your house,
can't.
contractor or whatever. They're like, sorry.
Yeah. So
November.
to your question, it was Bren, as far as what opinion on when the stimulus, I don't know. I can't believe we've made it this far so well financially.
I would say have savings.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
It's coming.
If
Be
you're
careful.
smart, that you can never go wrong with having at least 3 months of savings. So that's what I'd be looking at. I'd be careful of, take a look at the ant. Don't be the grasshopper. Take a look at the ant who stores up. The book of Proverbs uses the ant as the example. Because I think, this is not going to continue like this.
And I think if you have friends or family that have avoided going back to work because it's more beneficial financially not to, I don't think that's the best reason not to go back to work.
You may find you don't have work. You
Right.
go back to.
Yeah.
Because employers have learned to operate with less overhead.
Yep.
And they're busy. A lot of them are busy again, and they're going to go, I don't know if we need that, because they had a scare.
Yeah.
A lot of them had a scare. We have
Yeah.
friends that are self-employed and are employers within our friends here at Edgewater, and they're telling us all the time, I realized I didn't need those 3 people.
Yeah.
We're doing well. We had to tighten our belt, and we got a little more efficient, and
Yeah.
we had to be creative. So if you have the opportunity to go back to work, go back to work.
Take it.
Plus, it's biblical. It's good to work. You
don't
have to
work,
work
you
to
don't
eat.
eat. Yeah.
Totally. So that's my opinion on it.
I'd just like to say hi to Mary Hansen. Thanks for tuning in.
My mom and dad are in Nebraska coming back. My dad's mother, she passed away 95, a saint.
Wow.
So they were back for a funeral, and yeah, super happy as far as, she's with the Lord.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
Yeah.
But my mom texted, "Hi, Mom."
I'm
Always my
married.
mom. Believe it or not, I'm her little boy.
Alrighty, man.
Hey, thanks guys for
Thanks.
a lively show today. Thanks for participating. We
Yeah.
obviously hit some
Love the
hot
comments.
topics.
Yeah.
So Revelation and Genesis, keep doing them, I guess, huh?
Yep. Can't go wrong there.
All right, God bless you guys.